do with an attention more than
Well, that's what I mean.
or attending to something and not attending to everything else.
Yes.
But the thing is, I guess when you can actually get into the deep reverie and also get off at the right bus stop, would then be an indication of an integration of that practice, I guess. So I mean, so metamathematics does have a real function, or can be used as a real function.
Well, like some of the questions that come up, I've noticed there are some places or concepts or meanings that I've arrived at, and I have to, and then when all of a sudden I contemplate them or realize what I'm thinking about, I ask myself, well, what does this have to do with what I was just doing? How did I get to this? How do I arrive at this axiom of existence?
An axiom of existence.
Of existence that intuitively a metaphysicist or a physicist or a priest or a construction worker would understand. That is, you exist. And
or or a housewife, or a young child, or an animal. That's the whole point. Or an animal, or a worm.
But you've arrived at where you are, your own existence. But you arrived there conceptually, like you were following this train of thought, and all of a sudden you arrive at this axiom of existence where being is.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't need to be explained?
Exactly. And
so
it's an axiom, it's a law.
But it doesn't have to be, no concept is necessary to explain being.
And existence.
And existence.
Because that's what you're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And, and a lot of people experience all different kinds of things. But the pure meaning of it is just that. And if you can center on that meaning, it actually alters the actual experience itself of being. Like,
all right. Yep. Okay.
You're no longer suffering.
But what? I mean, do rocks suffer? I mean, does the air suffer? I mean, that's the question. Is suffering only a human invention, or is it is it something that's more widespread? And if so, how is that possible? I mean, never mind. Now we're getting into something that isn't metamathematical. I mean,
right.
I don't know if you could describe suffering through metamathematics. I mean, what numbers would describe it? What arrangements? What kinds of, other than the mathematicians suffering over the fact that they can't arrive at the, finalization of the equation. They can't solve it. But the solution itself may be that there's no solution.
It lies between...
between nothing and...
Well, it's said
nothing.
Between will and fact lies reality.
Oh, I guess. I'm not sure about will or fact as an absolute principle.
Well,
either way.
Yeah, I don't know if they are. I think the absolute principle is what lies between them.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I can't really know what that means.
Will, to do, and the difference between what you can do, what is doing, between what is, and that is the world.
Well, between actuality and potentiality, yeah. What is actually apparently here, and what is potentially possible, or potentially realizable. Yeah, I guess through being.
Well, it's just I think, like it's hard. I've often
or integrates that.
One of the great predicaments or problems that I've always confronted in terms of asking the question of what it is we're doing, what humans are doing, and what it was they did, and did they ever do what they're supposed to be doing?
And who's setting the rules as to what is supposed to be done?
Well, exactly. If you come up with what it is that should be done, it becomes clear that it's not something that was ever done.
are you saying that?
And then when you take that into consideration, that it was never done, the question of whether it should be done or can be done, which has no basis then. Now,
Then, so get to the point. What is the point?
that it is a form of creation to that hasn't taken place yet.
Okay, so
Like,
what we could have done being humans hasn't ever been done before, or
Well-
hasn't ever been done, or has been rarely done, or what are you suggesting here?
well, that the particular solutions, or what would be considered to be solutions, are not solutions at all in a certain way. Like, it's a question of whether there's any solution is possible then. Like, because what I'm saying is that if human beings were to, for instance, like the Maharishi, who came up with this idea of transcendental meditation, and about how if everybody were to do this, the whole world would be transformed. Well, of course that's true.
If everyone could do anything together, the whole world would be. If everyone could just open the door at the same time, or
Right.
or even just
But how? But
breathe.
But
breath.
in order to do that, you basically have to convince people that they're better off if they were to do that than they are now, and that's the real difficult. Like, that's what's not.
It's not even that. I think it goes further than that. It's not just so much convincing
the
everyone
reason-
that it would be beneficial. There's a lot of people who know that certain things would be beneficial if they did it, but they don't. Out of sheer habit, out of laziness, a lot of the time they don't do it, even though they know that it's beneficial. It's beneficial not to smoke, but they don't.
The path
they
not
don't
taken.
It's okay not to drink pop, because it leads to diabetes. All of these things, everyone knows, sort of programmed. I've been told by somebody else, but I can't stop myself from craving these things. And a lot of that has to do with internal imbalances, all the cravings and all the desires to do one thing or another, or have one thing or another.
Well,
All of those are based on habitual or at least habitual programs, or at least tendencies. And if those aren't addressed, then of course, what good does it do to know without applying it? And so here we are.
yeah, I don't know if somebody's at the door.
Here we are.
Somebody's at the doorstep. I wonder if they got here through metaphysics.
Or just through walking.
Stumbled along.
Yeah. And regardless, I mean, there's a lot of talk.
Well, I don't think. Yeah, I think what it is that there's no correct path that humans were supposed to have taken other than the one they took, even though it looks like they could have done a lot better.
Well, the thing is, we still haven't finished the journey, and you can't really judge until you know the whole story. And if we don't know the whole story, I think it would be best left to
All methods.
it would be best left to that point where we can make a real determination of where we are and what we need to do. But even then, not judge what it is that's actually happening to us in our lives, or judging what's happening to the human race. The human race at the moment seems to be in a fix, mostly self-induced. It's self-created, or at least unconsciously generated. It's unconsciously generated consequences of unconscious actions and emotional rubbish and mental rubbish and actions that are not conducive to anything that would be considered conscious or developmental
Right.
to the whole. But we can't really judge that, okay, because we see this, that we can't, that this isn't in fact, that this is the end. In fact, it may just be the beginning, and if we can see it as that, then I think it would be very useful to to wait until that happens. Let's wait till everything is, let's wait till everything is known before we judge. At this point, the music starts playing and the program is over. So thank
Excellent.
you. Excellent.
Thank you.
It's time to exit. Thank you very much for attending, if you have been, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Jerry. Bye-bye.